Hi everyone and welcome to the Data Football Club. We are going to answer a seemingly easy question: what shape is a football? You might say a sphere, and you would only be partly right. In fact, this football is actually a cube, and we are going to see why. So let's get the ball rolling. It is very tricky to pinpoint an exact date for the creation of the first football. For the sake of this video, let's use the referential start date of the creation of the England Football Association, nowadays called the FA. During the years leading up to the FA creation, there was no clear standards for the characteristics of a football. Thus, a very simple process was used to produce footballs. They were made of inflated animal bladders, mostly pigs. And because the animal bladders were quite fragile, they could hardly maintain their shape and sometimes burst on impact, people started covering the bladder with leather or cork. Therefore, the material was similar across footballs, however, the size and weight would vary slightly. Inflating animal bladders was often done manually, and some people would sadly die from lung disease. With the creation of the FA in 1863, the first football characteristics started to be standardized, but it wasn't until 1872 that clear ball specifications were introduced. The ball needed to be spherical, with a circumference of 68 centimeters. It also had to be leather-wrapped and weigh between 396 and 453 grams before the game started. As the materials used were animal bladders and leather, these footballs were not waterproof at all. And since the first footballs were crafted in a country where heavy rain is not uncommon, football was sort of an evolutionary sport back then. Actually, playing under bad weather could lead to the ball doubling its weight over the course of one game. Imagine today if your favorite player had to play with a ball that changed weight over time. That sounds like they wouldn't be able to impress you the same, would they? Or maybe even more. It was only during the 70s that the football was covered with a layer of polyurethane, which made it waterproof, and therefore its weight remained similar throughout the game. It is also for the Euro 1968 and World Cup 1970 that it gained its 12 distinctive black pentagons, which made it easier to see on black and white TV. This football model was crafted by Adidas and was called the Telstar. It is still today the most famous ball design and is often used to represent the sport. The black and white model was carried on throughout the years until the 1998 World Cup in France, where we gave it the three colors of a flag and paved the way for more colorful balls in the following decades. So, what shape are modern footballs? We've said that the FA set the standard for balls to be spherical, but let's have a closer look. For example, let's look at the Adidas Telstar. Before the ball is inflated, it is actually a truncated icosahedron, which is a well-known solid in mathematics as it belongs to the 13 Archimedean solids. These are geometrical solids that are highly symmetrical and composed of at least two different types of regular polygons. Here we have hexagons and pentagons. So essentially, the Adidas Telstar shape originated in ancient Greece. When this solid is inflated, it gains its spherical shape because of the air pressure inside the ball. The Adidas Telstar has 32 faces, 90 edges, and 60 vertices. It also holds a very interesting property, as the length of each of its edges is constant. Therefore, the whole solid is uniquely determined by the length of one of its edges. We even have a beautiful formula that links this constant A, the length of an edge, with the radius of the ball r. You might also notice this little Greek letter in the formula called phi. This is the famous golden ratio, which was widely used by Renaissance painters such as Da Vinci as the divine proportion. Who would have thought that in the most popular sport was hidden that magnificent number that is so important to both mathematicians and artists? With 32 faces, crafting an Adidas Telstar was a real technological jump in the 70s. And with the success of this football, not much improvement was made to its geometry until the 2006 World Cup in Germany and the Teamgeist. This time, Adidas managed to create a football based off a truncated cube by adding curvature to each side of the ball. That way, Adidas was able to reduce the number of faces of the ball to only 14. This led to a ball even more spherical than our dear truncated icosahedron, and this endeavor carried on with the Jabloni in 2010, which is this time a truncated tetrahedron. But with how many sides, I ask you? Well, tetra means 4 in Greek, and because it is truncated, we add the number of vertices, which are 4 for a tetrahedron, and we get 8. 8 faces only, and even more spherical again. Finally, in 2014, Adidas introduced the Brazuca, which is none other than a cube. Yes, a cube, not truncated this time. By changing the topology of each face of the cube, Adidas created this marvelous ball, and with it, reduced the number of faces to only 6. Only 6. And probably ended the race for minimizing the number of sides of a football for a while. In 2018, Adidas came back with an updated version of the Telstar, which did not yield any real innovation from a geometrical perspective. The last innovation in the football was produced, again by Adidas, for Euro 2020 with the Uniforia. Adidas returned to its first loves with the Archimedean solids in the name of the, hope I'm going to pronounce that right, rhombi-cube octahedron. I think that's good. Which looks like this. With 26 faces, the Uniforia geometry is interesting as it holds 3 different polygons this time: triangles, rectangles, and squares, as opposed to 2 for the other balls we've mentioned. Another innovation from this ball might come from its name, Uniforia, made of the 2 words unity and euphoria as a tribute to inclusiveness and diversity. This endeavor by football manufacturers for minimizing the number of faces of a football was not just for fun, as you can imagine, or rather, it was to make football more fun and spectacular for us fans. With the football getting more and more spherical, the turbulence around it increases and makes it take more unpredictable trajectories. Also, the ball becomes more responsive to the type of effect the player transfers to it in order to have magnificent curls. Essentially, if Beckham was playing today, he may have been able to bend it even more. But be careful, it still requires a lot of skill to master the ball, so it does not make the sport any easier. Actually, it may be even harder for goalkeepers now. However, it makes it more thrilling for us spectators. The race to improve the quality of the ball now also includes environmental concerns, with more and more footballs made of recyclable materials and designed more responsibly from end to end. And of course, we are very far from the inflated animal bladders now, but fossil fuels are still a big problem in the football supply chain. Brands such as Rebond in France are striving to propose eco-responsible footballs to minimize the environmental impact of the sport. So hopefully we can find a way in the near future to have technological innovation serve both the sport and the environment for a spectacular and responsible game. At the time of recording this video, and to the best of my knowledge, the actual design of the ball for the FIFA World Cup 2022 in Qatar has not been officially released yet. Well, some people might have some insider information, but I don't have it. So I think that so far we only know its name, Rahle, which I hope I pronounced right, which refers to journey or travelogue to my understanding. And with the journey humanity is currently facing, I really hope that football can keep bringing us together and foster actions such as supporting populations in need and protecting our planet, of course. With that said, I hope that you now better understand the shape of our dear football. If you like the video, please let me know in the comment section below, hit the like button and share it to your teammates. And if you want to join the Data Football Club, please subscribe and click on the bell icon so you won't miss any content on this channel. See you soon for another video where football's the game, data's the goal. Bye bye!